This is the popular Lagos Bridge in Maiduguri. It links the city center to towns bordering the capital. Half of it has been submerged and commuters are forced to share the remaining lane. There are also visible cracks which raise questions about the integrity of the bridge while still in use. The heavy flow of traffic is caused by residents who are moving to internally displaced camps on the other side. Heavy rains have caused the Alao Dam to overflow and break its banks, leading to flooding as much as the capital has never witnessed in decades. The State Emergency Response Agency has been coordinating the rescue alongside the military deployed to assist in the emergency. The flood has left a large part of the state capital and its environs without electricity, and thousands risk infection due to water contamination. Hospitals were also affected. The University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital is one of the largest in West Africa, with its capacity of over 1,300 beds. But it also houses one of the most reputable cancer centers in the world. However, like its neighbors in Maiduguri town, it is not spared from the destruction of the flood. The chief medical director tells us of the damage.
I think the first concern we had is about the patients. We knew that the patient wards are downstairs. All the laboratories are downstairs. So the first emergency evacuation we did was all patients that can move out, we discharge them. And those that cannot move, we have to all take them upstairs to a higher level so that the water cannot affect them. And also about the patients that are coming in, people that are coming in, it's difficult to stop anybody from coming in because the gates are wide open. Water is coming, rushing into the hospital, so we cannot even talk. We have our own internal staff quarters that is housing about 250 families. So all the staff quarters were also taken over by water, so we have to think of, as much as we're planning for the patients, evacuating the patients, we have to be working on how to evacuate the staff also to get a safe place upstairs. So everything that we do is moving patients from ground floor to upstairs to look at emergency things that can come alone, because once there is this type of flooding, electricity is off.
Like most parts of the city, the hospital is without power and has operated with alternative energy, particularly solar. It takes us on a brief tour to see things for ourselves.
Yeah, this is the postnatal ward at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. Postnatal means this is where after delivery mothers are kept. And you can see it, even despite the water level have gone down, the beds are empty. We have to evacuate the patients upstairs, and you can see it's still waterlogged. This is the radiology department, and is primarily for diagnosis of diseases, where we have a CT scan, MRI machine, mammography machine, X-ray machines, fluoroscopy machines. These are all expensive equipments, and you can see it's all flooded. And
with thousands devastated due to the flooding and at risk of infection, cleanup exercise has begun so services can resume. Our next point of call was the Bakassi internally displaced camp. Thousands of persons evacuated from flooded areas have besieged the camp. Officials are having a difficult time controlling the people.
Yeah, this is the Bakassi camp that houses about 14,472 IDPs that were affected by the flood disaster. We have about a 400 housing unit that was earlier built by the government. But as a result of the earlier insurgency of Boko Haram, the houses were not completed. They were formerly used as IDP camps for Boko Haram victims that have come from faraway local governments that took refuge. If you can recall, the government has closed down all the camps before 2019. And now, unfortunately, another disaster happened, and we had to use this place to house the affected persons that were affected by the flood.
Adamu and his family are lucky to escape. They were asleep when the house began filling with water in the early hours of Tuesday.
I was fast asleep when my wife woke me up and telling me that she had some people talking outside our house. So when I went out, I found out so many people trying to check out and bring some of their belongings out from their house. And what I suddenly found out is when I move a bit further, I find a lot of people rushing out from their houses because of the flood.
Meanwhile, governors from neighboring states have been visiting to show their sympathy. At the moment, rescue operations are still ongoing, with many still stranded. Thousands of persons here, many of them women and children. They have lost their homes and livelihoods. But sadly, many of them were victims of the Boko Haram insurgency and were just beginning to get their lives together. Now, they have been thrown back into IDP camps because of the disaster. Ferdinand Duroher, reporting from Maiduguri for Arise News.